What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Sober Boys podcast. I am noted sports author Seth Jones here with former All-American Chris Ochoa. Say hi, Chris.
Howdy, guys.
All right, we're going to talk about the Cowboys and the Giants. I know you want to hear about that, so stay tuned and we'll get to it. Be right back.
It kills me not to know this, but I've all but just forgotten what the color of her eyes were, and her scars or how she got them, has the telling signs of age ring down her...
Good news, Chris. The NFL's back, and it's back with authority.
For you, baseball season's still going on for me.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But I do enjoy some football.
You enjoy some football, man, and we got kind of a big deal coming up, and that is our Dallas Cowboys against the hated New York Giants.
How about this? Our Dallas Cowboys versus the listening audience, New York Giants.
You accusing them of something?
I'm accusing them of, what is it, tyranny?
Tyranny? Yeah.
I'm accusing them of that.
They didn't do anything.
Speaking of tyranny, have you seen Tyrone Smith's girlfriend, Lee Costa?
I saw her several times.
I'm just going to say this. Thank you, Ben Rogers. Thank you. Thank you, Ben Rogers.
Did he
And I'm gonna
put you
leave it
on
at
to it?
He threw the boat out there. I saw her on Twitter. I immediately gave her a follow.
You know what I observed about her?
She's a very beautiful woman.
She's not ugly.
No.
She is
No.
not ugly.
No. Tyrone, 2 thumbs up, man. You did a good job on that one.
But you know what is ugly? The Cowboys' offensive line.
Oh, man. And what's funny is the ugliest guy on the offensive line might be the best looking one.
Who, Phil Costa?
No. I'm going to give Phil Costa some credit. He's actually a C-plus offensive line. Your boy, David Arkin.
Yeah.
Not a bad-looking fellow for, a big guy like that.
Not a bad-looking fellow at all. And if I may be so bold, I would consider a relationship with him.
I thought you were going to predict him to go to the Pro Bowl.
Dude, I wouldn't go that far with him. No, I wouldn't. I might let him...
So when you said bold, you just said... You actually just meant you're just going to go out on a limb a little bit?
Yeah.
Because bold would be predicting him to make the Pro Bowl.
If I was in a relationship with David Arkin, he wouldn't go to the Pro Bowl, but he might start for the season opener.
I can see that.
So who's going to win, Chris? Who's going to win?
Listen, I know that we are Cowboy fans, but we have to be realistic.
That's all I know.
And so I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. Giants 31, Cowboys 3.
Ooh. Ouch.
I'm going to throw that out there.
Okay.
And listen, when I make these predictions, I'm always making this prediction with my fingers and toes crossed going, please God, let me be wrong. Please God, let me be wrong.
Well, remember during the show prep when you asked me what I was doing and I had my hand on that glass ball and my eyes rolled back in my head and all you saw were whites and I was trembling? I was actually getting the result of the game at that time. Yeah. And that's why I have a headache right now because that takes a lot out of me.
You're like Raiden.
And the score, but without the lightning.
Without the lightning.
And the score of that game was 30-20 and the Cowboys went 0-1 because they didn't win the game.
So we're both predicting the Cowboys to lose this week.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I did not see the game. I was channeled the final score, and the question is, how did it get to that point? What happened?
If the Cowboys, in your eyes, scored 20 points, I'm guessing that there were
3 Giants fumbles,
and 2 of them were returned for touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay. And then probably the best kicker in the NFL, Dan Bailey, kicked 2 75-yard field goals.
He might have just scored all the points. I don't know. I know one thing. Is there a pound outside?
I was gonna say, man. Listen, we're gonna start up a Kickstarter for the show so that we can get out of the pound. Like we're forced to record in a pound.
It sounds like Michael Vick's outside trying out some new talent.
Yeah.
Good Lord. But aside from that, I will say that I think the Cowboys will score on maybe a couple of Hail Marys. Maybe a couple of Hail Marys.
Dez Bryant catches those.
And Dez Bryant
Look,
catches them.
can we just go ahead and say that Dez Bryant is going to be our boy of the show? And we mean no disrespect to Dez when we say our boy of the show.
Yeah.
He's dude, how can you not like that guy?
I
How
like
can you
him
not
a lot.
like Dez Bryant? I mean, unless you're somebody who's never slapped your mom before, you're obviously
Right.
not going to take a liking to Dez. But, hey, look, sometimes your mama needs to be slapped. Sometimes she needs to be slapped. You got to keep mama in line.
From what he said, he matrix dodged 3 of her slaps, and then deflected the 4th,
Which caused her to hit her own face.
and then she fell down and couldn't get back up.
Either way, I'm letting Dez slide on slapping his mama.
Either way, Dez is different now. Dez is
our boy.
He's a different player physically. He's a different player mentally, and I think that he's
Would you
going
let
to.
Dez date your daughter?
No, I don't think that she would have a very good life being married to a guy who is pretty much surrounded by the hottest women he wants to be surrounded by with whatever town he goes to.
That's true. I think a guy with Dez's impeccable skills, I think even the greatest of men would have a hard time being faithful to their wife. And so I would not want him to date my daughter or be married to my daughter for the simple fact I would not want him to cheat on my daughter. Because if you break my daughter's heart, you break my heart. And if you break my heart, I have to break your face.
I have to break your face, yeah.
So Dez, please, if I ever have a daughter, please don't ever date my daughter. Although she would be like 40 years younger than you by the time that happens.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't
matter
matter
nowadays,
Doesn't matter.
as long as she's 18.
Yeah, so please don't ever date my daughter. But dude, here's my thing. I just really don't see the Cowboys' offense unless it goes through Dez or Witten doing anything. I just don't. And I don't see DeMarco Murray picking up any yards against that, whatever you call that concrete wall of a defensive line that the Giants have.
Yeah, Jason Pierre-Paul, Justin Tuck, Sean Rogers. I mean, that
Even
first
the old washed-up guys they have are still beasts.
that first level on the Giants' defense is really hard to penetrate. And let's face it, the Cowboys would probably have trouble running against the best high school team in the state of Texas.
Man, I thought Jerry
Sorry.
Jones had a liking for white linebackers. I thought that was like his thing. He liked white linebackers.
He must, because
So why did he let Dan Connor go?
They did
Is Dan
get-
Connor not white? I saw his pictures. He looks pretty white to me.
Listen, the proof that Jerry Jones likes white linebackers is that when he drafted Bobby Carpenter.
Right. Yes. like I'm pretty sure that Jerry was sitting in the room and he goes, "Oh, we have a white linebacker. Let's take him."
Look at that long flowing hair. See how it flows like that when it runs.
Steven, tell him we're drafting Bobby Carpenter.
Actually, I think Parcells had something to do with that too.
Yeah.
But let's just keep saying Jerry did it.
Do you think maybe Parcells sabotaged the Cowboys his last
Right
year?
before he went out?
Right before he went out.
Him and Tony Romo.
Like I knew this one time this waiter at Mercado's, they were getting ready to quit, and they took a huge dump in the floor of the restaurant as they were leaving on their last shift.
What was their name?
Well, it was, Jake Abston, my good buddy, it was his brother, Nathan.
Well, I think Nathan may have participated in his own hot dog eating contest before he went to Mercado's.
But I think that's what Parcells did before he left. I think he took a big old dump in Jerry's office and Bobby Carpenter showed up after
They
the
have. Another thing I was thinking about is the Giants' offense, like on paper, based on what I know about them preseason, like before the games are played, I really am not impressed with them either.
No.
At all.
One bit. Their wide receivers? Okay, Victor Cruz.
That's their best receiver.
He's a beast.
And compare him to Dez. I don't think he's got anything on Dez Bryant.
No.
I think he's really good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's not on the same level as Dez Bryant.
No, I don't think so at all. And Akeem Nicks is their version of Miles Austin.
Yeah, he very well might do absolutely nothing. And let me clarify here. At least me, when I say it's going to be all Dez and Witten, I'm fully aware that other players will do something, but it's not going to be substantial. It's pretty much when Dez and Witten aren't an option, you're going to dump one off to somebody else.
Right, Terrence Williams
or Miles Austin or something. But I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they are key players in a successful offense.
I don't think so at all. I'm really not looking forward to that. You know what I kind of want? I kind of wish that the NFL would go to this deal where they said, listen, if you don't want your offense to play, we'll leave your defense out, and you get points for not letting them score. So that makes up for your offense not playing. And then I would just leave our defense out there for all 60 minutes.
That's a very, very hypothetical situation.
Because I really hate our offense. I really do. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that are listening to this going, man, who is this guy? What an idiot. But
there's a lot of people that hate what we're saying right now. A lot of them.
But listen, guys, we have to be realistic. We have to be realistic about it. Do you think anybody in the NFL is even remotely scared of our offense outside of Dez Bryant?
I think they're scared of Dez Bryant.
Exactly. And I don't... Listen, man. Jason Witten is 5,000 hits and 80 catches and a year older than he was last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't play tight end and just keep getting beat all to hell like he has been beat.
Well, even if he
and expect him to continue to just be the beast that he's always been.
Even if Jason Witten was 26 years old again, he won't carry the offense.
No.
As a tight end, you can only do so much.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, if you have two tight ends, like the Patriots had before,
do they have any tight ends now?
Before they started killing folks, that's a
Did you hear
different
about
story.
Aaron Hernandez? Now he was like using PCP. And he was like terrified that people were gonna kill him, and he like went to Belichick like back in January. He was like, "Hey, dude, here's the deal. These people are gonna kill me. I've been carrying a gun. I really want some protection. I'm thinking about quitting football." And Belichick was like, "Dude, listen, you get lay low. I'm finna cut your ass."
And he didn't.
And he did. So, and now the one guy laying low is the victim of Mr. Hernandez's crimes.
Yeah.
The friend, which that's a really weird deal in itself. But man, I'm being realistic here. I do not like our offense one bit. I like our defense. I really do. We got some playmakers on defense.
I was going to say, I'm glad you said that. I was going to say, after this game, what I predict all the post-game shows are going to say is, man, our offense was terrible, but wow, our defense played great. I think that, and yes, I realize that I said the Giants scored 30. That doesn't necessarily put it on the defense.
No.
I think the offense is going to be on the field for 3 plays a lot of the time.
Well, listen. I can see our defense getting up 25 to 28, maybe even 30 points a game, but still ranking somewhere in the top 5 in yardage allowed.
Yeah.
Because I just don't see. I mean, you can't ask a defense to just sit there and hold the game for you all game long. The offense has got to put some pressure on the other team's
Not
defense.
only is it a matter of field possession or field positioning, like offense can't move it, so the field's constantly going in favor of the other team when the defense hits the field. But, man, at the end of the game, if the defense has been on the field all game, they're going to be significantly worse than they would have been if the offense would have done something.
And here's the thing that I don't like at all. I don't like the fact that we don't have a running game.
Yeah, and
I don't like it.
And the problem there is, unless you have Adrian Peterson in the backfield, he's an exception because he is an exceptional running back. You're going to need the offensive line to be.
Look at Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson is a perfect example
of
a quote-unquote great running back with a horrible offensive line, and look what he did.
Yeah,
he averaged like 2.8 yards a carry. So I don't want to hear about how good DeMarco Murray is when we have a horrible offensive line like we do. I mean, it's just not. It's not feasible to try to run your offense through the passing game continuously like we do. Because what happens when they rush 3 and drop back 8?
Dude, we've been trying to run our offense through the passing game for
since
years.
Garrett started, I know that.
And you know how many playoff wins we're getting with that strategy?
And this is, to me,
Listen.
this is the definition of insanity. We keep doing the same thing over and over again, and we expect a different result, and it's just not going to happen.
A team that cannot run the football has to be impeccable at what they do through the air, such as Green Bay. But in most cases, if you have absolutely no running game, everything has to go right for you, and your opponent, everything has to go wrong several times during the season for you to even have a shot at getting into the playoffs.
But here's the thing with Green Bay. You can say what you want about their running game, but their running game may only get 80, 90 yards a game. But those 80, 90 yards a game are better than what the Cowboys would get if they got 140, 150.
Right.
Because those 80, 90 yards a game that Green Bay's offense is getting are in the fourth quarter when the game is on the line. And the Cowboys aren't going to get that. The only way Cowboys are getting 150, 160 yards a game running is if DeMarco Murray rips off a couple of 70-yarders.
Let me tell you this. I want you to remind me, if I ever complain about Garrett not calling any run plays, remind me about what I'm about to say. I think Jason Garrett is terrified to call a running play during the second half because of the first half. He tries. Give him credit. He tries to establish a run, but it never works, ever. And some people say, you just got to keep trying. You got to keep pounding the rock. Something will open up soon. No, that ain't how it works. It is if you're Alabama. It is if you're Atlanta, if that's how you play. But, man, the Cowboys don't have the personnel to pull that off. And Garrett knows that. So, hell, when the second half rolls in, it's air raid. It is air raid. That's all he's going to call his pass plays, and I do not blame him.
Do you know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is the one thing that the Cowboys don't really run a whole lot of is play actions? They don't really run a whole lot of play actions, do they?
They can't.
And I mean, I'm just thinking, if you can't run the ball, at least make it look like you're going to run the ball in the first half and throw maybe a play action with a deep route to Dez. I mean,
here's what they do. They do that little zone read fake draw thing.
Yeah, I don't like that, man.
I don't like it either. It doesn't make sense. Where Romo kind of pushes the ball towards Murray while he reads the defense and then
Didn't
pulls
we
it
get like
back.
2 or 3 fumbles last year because of that? Because either DeMarco Murray went on the wrong side of that read and knocked the ball out of Romo's hand?
Probably. I understand the point of it because eventually you will give it, and they might automatically assume, oh, they're throwing it again, and then it works. But that doesn't count as I wouldn't really count that as an official play action play. But no, we can't run a play action because we can't run the ball. this offense is going to be one-dimensional. It's going to be like that against the Giants, and the Giants are going to, like you said, they're going to drop everybody back, and everyone's going to be covered.
I mean, do you really have to rush 5 when you got Justin Tuck and Pierre Paul and Sean Rogers and who's the other guy they've got that's like, he's like 9 years in the league?
Let's just call him another guy that's really good.
But, and here's the thing that I saw the other day. The Cowboys have been working on wide receiver screens with Miles Austin.
Oh, my
Really? Is that going to work? Because let me tell you what's going to happen. What usually happens on a wide receiver screen when the wide receiver catches the ball, if he doesn't break that first tackle, what happens to him? He gets lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Do you think Miles Austin really wants to stand in there and continuously get lit up like a Christmas tree because he can't break that first tackle?
Well, he ain't going to have a choice, I guess.
Man, dude, that to me is like the biggest joke ever. Because if that play works once out of 15 times, you know what they're going to say? That was a really successful play. Because it worked one time. Because I think that, in my mind, they're going to adopt the Greg Davis philosophy of, hey, it worked one time.
Let's keep mixing
It'll work it again.
Let's keep mixing in those screens. Yeah.
You saw what that did to the Longhorns for 3 years. I mean,
you had to have transcendent quarterbacks to fight through the crappy calls.
I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong about this Cowboys offense.
I could really see Jason Witten getting 100 yards receiving.
And it's still not mattering.
And equating to nothing.
Right.
And it not leading to anything but a couple of field goals. Because I think they might let us have some short stuff. I think that's what's going to happen. Is they're going to give us some.
Why wouldn't you let us have some short stuff? I mean,
yeah,
we're not going to hurt you.
Right.
We're not going to. We don't have anybody who terrorizes you in the backfield. There's no LaShawn McCoy back there. There's no.
It just hit me. I think I know when we're working on wide receiver screens. Because it will take the Giants' defensive line alone 2 seconds to sack Tony Romo.
And that's true.
So you got to just go ahead and throw it.
Man,
I think Jason Garrett said, we'd rather them sack Miles Austin than sack Tony Romo. And that's kind of where they went with the screen idea.
I think our offensive line's going to look like a bunch of tackling dummies.
Yeah, they are.
Or blocking.
A
bunch of cardboard cutouts.
When they do that drill where they just kind of swim through the dummies with sand at the bottom, they kind of bobble around. It's going to look like that.
Have you ever seen Necessary Roughness?
Probably.
It's got Scott Bakula, and it's got the comedian guy Sinbad in there. They're at the University of North Texas, and they're trying to research the program. And anyway, Scott Bakula is the quarterback, but before Scott Bakula is the quarterback, there's this guy, as soon as he hikes the ball, he immediately takes off running down the yard, 15 field. I mean, he immediately takes off running down the field 15 yards, and he's like, throw the flag, throw the flag, throw the flag, hollering at the ref for him to throw the flag, and then he just throws the ball on the ground. I imagine that's what Tony Romo is going to be doing a lot of this year. It's just, immediately running to the refs and hiding behind him and yelling, throw the flag, throw the flag. And like I said, man, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope this offense, is just a bunch of, little under-the-radar guys that just all of a sudden blossom into big-time stars. But, man, I just don't see it. I don't see it at all.
Well, the bottom line is nobody, from the man who does nothing but study Cowboys film 18 hours a day to the super casual fan that barely knows anyone on the roster but buys a Cowboys shirt, neither one of them have any idea what's actually going to happen. This is the NFL,
That's true.
It's a very unpredictable league. But there are signs, such as a horrible offensive line and a very subpar receiving core. There are signs that make you think this game is going to go the way that we're predicting. And
dude, did you see what happened to Alex Tanney the other night?
Yeah.
If Romo gets hurt,
he got bent over prison style.
if Romo gets hurt, what are we gonna do? Run the Wildcat? With what?
Yeah.
What running game we have?
Let's go. Let's go. Like I said, I'd rather the running backs and receivers get sacked than the quarterback.
Oh,
Good
man.
Lord.
I'm really not excited at all about watching our offense play. Now, listen, I'm excited about the defense. I really am. I'm really pumped about the defense.
I'm just excited to drink beer and watch Cowboys.
Man, you know,
I think that's the Cowboy fan attitude
I
nowadays.
will say this, though. I think that these guys may have a lot of heart, and so hopefully they won't go down without a fight.
Hey, I like Garrett's influence on the team. I think it's very heart driven, but I don't think there's a whole lot of talent there behind it. You know,
Garrett reminds me of a speaking spell.
you
know what I'm
the
talking
cow
about?
goes.
Yeah.
Moo.
Yeah, I mean, he just... I couldn't get pumped up with a Jason Garrett speech.
I don't know.
I just couldn't.
No, I like his ideals.
Yeah.
I like his principles. I like what he.
Yeah.
I like what he tells them. I don't know if I
Right.
like how he tells them.
Right, exactly. And I think a lot of how you get the message across is how you get the message across.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily what you're
No,
saying.
you know what Garrett does? He can't give one memorable speech that soaks in him. So as we all know, he hammers phrases into people.
Right.
Like, you know, motor, process. Like he says these things. I'm pretty sure that when the players go to bed at night, they've got that speak and spell voice in their head. Just
And
being
there's all these
played
words just
over.
running back and through.
And you can see Garrett's face hovering from the left to the right, across the screen, and from the top to the bottom, just saying these words. Yeah.
What an ass whipping that would be.
That's what they get paid for, I guess.
Ass whipping to me. Like, I would be tortured. Like, I would not want to go to practice.
Hey, maybe it'll be like Waterboy. They see Garrett's face on
Right.
the other team, and they... Shut up!
So your prediction is 30-20. Mine is 31-3.
Yeah,
We'll see what happens.
we'll see what happens. And again, we hope we're wrong.
Exactly.
We'll be right back. Alright, y'all. We really hope you enjoyed the show, even if it pissed you off. We're not here to lie to you.
We can't apologize for how we feel.
We cannot apologize for how we feel. We hope it goes well, and we're ready for it. We are the Sober Boys. Seth Jones, former All-American Chris Ochoa. Get pumped, guys. It's Cowboys football season, and we'll see y'all next time.